Good morning. My name is Jeff Gould. This is a bonus podcast of I Like That Story, and it's called Peace in the Valley, and this particular episode is dealing with fear. Well, as I said, this is a bonus podcast, so it's a little bit different than the others. I am conducting these in the quietness of my shop. Got a fire going in the wood stove. There's something about a wood fire, isn't there? I mean, you can get warmth from propane or natural gas, or even those stoves that run on gas, but there's something about the sound and the smell of a wood fire. Well, dealing with fear is our episode today. It's my favorite topic, sort of. I mean, I guess I would say this. I am well acquainted with fear. Fear has been my mortal enemy. And I've only recently been able to really identify just why it is such a pesky adversary. And here's what fear is really good at. Fear is really good at hiding. I mean, nobody will say they're afraid. Even I was watching a movie, these war movies, right? And here we are on a battlefield, and it's a horrific carnage. And there is this young guy cowering in a foxhole, and he is saying to the grizzled sergeant, "Sarge, I'm afraid." Well, duh. I mean, it's almost laughable, right? Of course you are afraid. Somebody died. You will be killed. They're shooting at you. And then the sergeant says something, listen, kid, we're all afraid. And you just like some sort of revelation. Oh, really? You're afraid too? I mean, this is how embedded it is, that we just simply cannot admit that we are afraid. And fear, oh my goodness gracious, he loves that. That's where he does his best work. So this is such a important thing to me that I actually wrote this down on this piece of plywood, and I keep it in my shop as a reminder of what exactly I am up against. Because once you start recognizing fear, he loses power. Yeah, that's right. When fear stops becoming invisible and starts to become visible, right then, he loses power. Right? So, there are different kinds of fear, but they're all fear. There's passive fear, worry, anxiety, fatigue, dread, sickness, depression. Those days where you just have this nagging thing. What about the bills? Worry, worry, worry. Anxiety. What if? Fatigue. The alarm goes off in the morning, and it's not physical tiredness. You just want to roll up in the covers like a human burrito and hide. Dread, Monday, sickness, depression, that kind of common cold of feelings where you just want to hide in the basement and watch Netflix and eat chips. Once you start recognizing those are all fear, that gives you power to face your fear. There's also aggressive fear, and I am victim to this as well. Anger, snide comments, cynicism, outbursts, addictive behaviors, denial. Well, these are all aggressive forms of fear. What are we supposed to do now? Oh, I guess you think that's going to work. Who are you to say, I don't think this, I don't have a problem. I don't think this is a deal. Those are all fear-based. And when you can just say, I see you over there. I see you, Mr. Invisible Fear. Now, he loses power. So what actually takes out fear? Well, love casts out fear. That's biblical. So we know that love casts out fear. And we know that love is patience, love is kind, love is slow to anger, love is, all of those things that Paul describes. So these are things that can help us face our fears. Now, this is a practical thing that I do most every morning. I write down all of the things I'm worried or anxious about. And by pinning them down on a piece of paper with words, I have them trapped. Then I circle them, and I say, God, here you go. They're not mine anymore. What was that phrase here? Even to your old age and gray hairs, I am he. I am he who will sustain you. I have made you and will carry you. I will sustain you, and I will rescue you. What I have said, that I will bring about. What I have planned, that I will do. What's that other one? Do you not know? Do you not understand? Have you not heard? Something about you will soar on wings like eagles. You will run. You will walk. It's in there somewhere. Hey, you should do that. You should get yourself a Bible. You should plow through it. And I mean, some of it's tough sledding. You should read a section. I started with the Psalms. I'm up to Jeremiah now. I just take a section that kind of boldens sections of the Bible where they say, what happened in this particular section. It could be, 8 verses, could be 30 verses. And I just take that whole section and I read it and I try to condense it in one 10-word sentence. That's not easy. But what that does is it gives you time in that piece of Scripture. It helps you condense it. It helps you own it. It helps you chew on it and digest it better. And when you do that, it's really surprising how many good verses you find. So sometimes I'll put a mark on a verse I like while I'm also contemplating what my 10-word condensation will be of that section. And that's how I found many of these verses that I'm sharing with you. It's just that time alone, that time away, that time of contemplation gives me focus. Focuses on who I am and whose I am. Helps me realize that fear is a regular enemy, and fear is not up to facing the powers of love. that come from my Creator and through Jesus Christ. And that's how a good day starts for me. I'm Jeff Gould. This program is called Peace in the Valley. I am doing it. Well, I'll tell you something. I was afraid to do it. Who cares about what you have to say? Nobody wants to hear all this God talk. You are just a guy in the middle of nowhere. All of these were real thoughts and real fears. But I decided that I would face them. I decided that if it helps one person, that's fine. I also decided that God wanted me to do it, that I was made to do this. And if that sounds silly to you, and maybe it does, well, that's just one more fear that I must face. To do what I was made to do, to face my fears, and do it anyway. This is what makes life so exciting. Until we have a chance to talk again, my name is Jeff Gould. God bless.